Durk ass cook like turkey bacon and possibly go spend the rest of his life behind bars and die alone in there while his so-called friends take turns bouncing up and down on India like a new mattress spring. I just really don't understand how y'all willing to throw y'all lives away and knuckle up, go to jail for the same niggas that's quick to put your bra in the hucklebuck.
That's what you do when you do the hucklebuck.
Hell no, y'all see old school, he hitting that shit too, look at. And this street shit definitely not for the tender and faint-hearted. And y'all know I ain't told no lies. Gang said if Vine was out and you got booked for 30 days, you get out here already done cracked your bra like a carton of eggs.
You said Vaughn used to fuck everybody girl. Did he hit one of yours? No. And that wasn't even cause like he couldn't. It's just like, I don't know. See, Vaughn, I told y'all, Vaughn gonna fuck your girl while you in jail, folks, on BD. Like, he not gonna fuck your girl. Like, all the guys, girls who he fucked them while they was booked on BD. Like, for them went and did bids, he'll fuck they girl, I ain't gonna lie. And he'll let them know he fucked they girl and be like, folks, she ain't right, I cracked her. For instead of not fucking her, he'll fuck her and then tell folks them he fucked her. When Vaughn was out, folks, I never went to jail while folks was out, folks. Like, and folks was booked a lot, folks, but sometimes he'll be out and they'll be booked and he'll be for them girls. Me, I'm out the whole time watching his ass like a hawk.
And another thing, I'm tired of hearing all these lawyers coming out the woodworks talking about Durk got a chance. Talking about Lil Durk as a corporation and that's a separate entity from Lil Durk as a person. But listen to me, whole time knowing Broski ain't got a snowball chance in hell. Durk ain't got a snowball chance in hell. But we gon' hear him out though, cause some say that they cooking. So hit the like button and let me know in the comments how y'all feel about this situation, cause you can argue me to the depths of hell, but Durk is going to jail indefinitely, any way you look at it. So let's go, let's play this clip.
Whatever Durk Banks said on a song was in character as Lil Durk. So you shouldn't be able to take lyrics said, you know, presumably fictional lyrics in character and then use those against Durk Banks was playing that character. And a real life example of this is Terry Bollea versus Gawker, if you remember that. And the famous line in open court, Terry Bollea had to say, Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch penis. Terry Bollea does not. This was Terry Bollea, the man, explaining the kayfabe persona, Hulk Hogan, that Terry Bollea portrays. He portrayed him as having allegedly a 10-inch penis, but Terry Bollea had to say and indicate that he himself does not. So that's the distinction between kayfabe character and real life person. So this is an extreme example, but one I'm certain you will not forget. But that's how kind of applies in this case. And this is a defense that could be made, and I haven't heard made yet. Lil Durk is the one rapping the lyrics, not Durk Banks, but the character Lil Durk. As in my example, The Undertaker, the character, is the one claiming he's digging holes, taking souls, not Mark Calloway. Mark Calloway is extremely talented, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time.
Oh, okay, I see what you did right there. By the way, that's a nice analogy. It put me in the mind of the example I laid down in that Ross video I did a few months back. If you ain't checked that out, go run it up. But instead of referencing wrestlers, I used examples from different music genres. Hey, but what do y'all think? Can singing and writing violent, incriminating song lyrics be used as evidence that a person has committed a crime? Over and over again in state courts across the country, prosecutors are trying to do just that.
Run the streets, own the night. Got the bag, made the drop. The defendant clearly states his intent here, Your Honor.
The question for courts included in a recent case in Iowa is whether this tactic risks convicting people not because of what they did or didn't, but because of how jurors react in their taste of music. But it's not all musical genres that got the attention of prosecutors. They not trying to prove that defendants at some point sang along or wrote country lyrics comparable to Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues, where he wrote, "I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die." Or rock songs like Freddie Mercury lyrical confession that he just killed the man, put a gun up against his head and pulled the trigger and now he's dead. Or pop songs like Taylor Swift Nobody No Crime, where she sings about murdering her friend's husband. Instead, in case after case, when prosecutors introduce music to evidence, it's rap music. And Cap Lord, he aware of all this. Yeah, man, I hear you. It sound good. But we ain't trying to hear none of that there. Nigga, I don't care that the feds got a 90-some% conviction rate because the average person ain't got money longer than train smoke and forced to take plea deals. Durk legal team ain't getting no W's and go leave him broke and suck him dry like a beach boy through a hose pipe. Huh? Who started this trend of all these lawyers coming up here and putting in their 2 cents just because they completed the bar exam? They don't know no more about this Durk case than me or you. I'd rather believe an anonymous comment on Reddit than some lawyer getting up and making it to every court hearing. Talking about the voice still got hope. Boy, if you don't get the fuck on, boy, fuck Durk, refried bean head looking ass. That's how they coming.
The trial has been pushed to August 2026. If you listen to the noise, all you're gonna hear is Durk is cooked, nobody's there for Durk, motion denied, but that's just the noise. The fact of the matter is his trial team has won a number of points in this case. The indictments, there's been 3 indictments, and each time the allegations against Durk have thinned out. Some of the evidence that they wanted to use has actually been withdrawn so that the judge didn't have to exclude it. I'm going to take you through it piece by piece. I'll leave the best parts for the end. First, when they charged Durk, the main allegation about him rapping in his lyrics was this lyric about him going, told me they got an Addy, got location, green light, seen your son on the news screaming, no, no. Okay, that lyric, if you play that lyric, then you play the video of Quando next to the murdered victim, no, no, you would have won major points with a jury. That lyric's not in the indictment anymore because Findling showed that those lyrics were written well before the murder. A couple more points. When they bought this case, they said the conspiracy started in August 2022. That's when Durk arranged to get these rentals, these flights. That's when he made arrangements for the bounty. Then they switched that and they said, actually, the conspiracy started back when Von died in November 2020. And they had to do that because they needed to bring in more lyrics. They needed to bring in Instagram comments and the podcast comments to build that whole story because it wasn't enough to just show him paying shooters and show him renting cars. Maybe they're not going to be able to show all that. Let's extend it back. Let's give the jury a bigger story. They withdrew evidence of a 2022 incident in Chicago, which appears to have been them wanting to show that, hey, look, another time in Chicago back in 2022, he paid for people to go do violence. Well, they took that off the table and they said, hey, we're not going to talk about any of that. And here's the big one. When they charged Durk, they said in the indictment about the bounty that at the direction of defendant Durk Banks, defendant Wilson, that's OTF Didi, would pay the bounty or monetary reward to the shooters. That's gone. We know OTF Didi Wilson is going to trial. So their main allegation on the bounty that Durk told Didi to pay the shooters is gone, and they're pivoting to another way to prove the bounty. What did they pivot to? They say the consideration, the thing Durk promised for the murder, was lucrative music opportunities with OTF, putting people in videos. That's their theory of the bounty payment. That is where you make your defense. The murder for hire statute requires quid pro quo. Murder has to be committed in exchange for something of economic value, not an after-the-fact gift, not something that you would have just happened anyway, not something you do normally as part of your business, an actual contract. Okay, and if all the government can do is point out that the shooters were in the music videos after the fact, a jury has a real question to answer about that was a murder contract or just some other part of a relationship between a lot of people who were connected in a lot of ways. Interestingly, at the same time that the government pivoted from saying Didi paid the shooters to saying, hey, it was putting people in music videos, they also added a fallback charge. So when they bought the case, the original indictment, there was no stalking charge. In the second superseding indictment against Durk, they added a stalking charge. And the stalking charge is important because it doesn't require any contract. No quid pro quo, no bounty, no payment theory. You can add that charge and simply prove that, hey, he was telling people to go do this. He didn't necessarily pay them to go do a murder, but he was telling them to go follow that guy. He was telling them to go stalk that guy. And a jury can look at it and say, a lot like in the Diddy case, that, hey, not exactly sure here. Very, very, very suspicious individual over here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit him with the lesser charge. And so, when the government puts in that fallback charge later in the case, that tells you that they're not 100% sure on their theory, that they acknowledge that, hey, we need to have a fallback here. keep an eye out for a couple things. One, the motion for an anonymous jury is still hanging out there. That means that the jurors go in there and their identities and names and addresses are not revealed. If that motion gets granted, it's going to change the complexion of this case significantly, because if you're a juror and you go in there and the judge tells you, hey, we're going to keep everything confidential and your identity secret because this is a dangerous case, well, you might rule a certain way based on hearing that information. The other thing to keep an eye out for, not all of the lyrics have been ruled on. A lot of the lyrics, especially those lyrics that have to do with bounties, the judge said, hey, we get to closer to trial and I see how the government is going to try to prove a bounty. That's when I'll decide whether these lyrics about bounties are relevant. One thing to keep it a buck, and just to not sugarcoat it, the lyrics that Durk has out there about slide for Vaughn, I got it back in blood, you just don't know, that's how it's supposed to be. The podcast comments about I just don't be hearing those comments anymore about sliding for Vaughn. All that stuff is in. All that stuff is incredibly damaging to Durk. Had those things not been released into the public record, my God, this would be a much easier case to defend. All that being said, Durk trial, August 2026. This will be a trial for the ages.
Wait, hold on, let me get this straight. So you mean to tell me that the feds went from Durk putting $1 million on Quando's scalp to the murder motive being a music opportunity to rap and be a cameo in a fucking music video? And the government can't even prove that Diddy paid the shooters now? It lightweight sound like the case falling apart. So let me get this straight. So we done went from murder for hire, facing life behind bars, to a stalking charge? It's really looking like they throwing shit on the wall just to see if it stick. And I truly believe if anybody can get Durk home, Drew Fallon is the man for the job. Cause he really know how the system will get down on us, if you catch my drift.
I got $1 billion lawyer with me, man. Y'all know what's up, man. Big.
So listen, happy weekend. And I'm not saying happy Independence Day because quite frankly, I'm really not feeling it. I'm not feeling that this July 4th, I want to celebrate the fact that we stole this country by murdering thousands and thousands of indigenous people to take their land. I'm not really celebrating that we declared independence in 1776 so that we can go to another continent and kidnap and brutalize thousands and thousands of people to build an economy in this new land. I'm just not feeling that, and I don't want to celebrate that.
Do I think who?
Gunna and YSL are going to get out on their RICO charges?
Well, what I think is that we've exaggerated what gangs are in Atlanta. I think we've exaggerated what RICO is in Atlanta. I think that, we need to take a look at just going ahead and charging people based on their lyrics and their musical aspirations and their First Amendment rights to express themselves. We're not really indicting anybody for Quentin Tarantino films, are we? Right?
I agree.
We're not indicting anybody for I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy down. But all of a sudden, we've handpicked this music aspiration and this music of people in the black and brown community, and it's racist. That's what it is.
I agree. Thank you so much.
I represent a female singer, Cardi B, and still I deal with stuff in New York about like when she was 17, who she affiliated with that are gang members. Who comes up with the criteria for gangs? It's not scientists, it's not academics, it's just cops. This is the DOJ Criminal Resource Manual. Most participants in gang crimes tend to be young male and either black or Hispanic. That's our federal government, folks. You can go to a fraternity house and see 7 Kappa Alphas wearing the same color and stealing shit, but because they're pasty white kids, they're not a gang. But you go one town over and get 7 young African-American kids that steal some hubcaps and they wear the same colors and they're a gang. Look at this case in North Carolina. It involved 3 universities bringing in massive amounts of cocaine and other drugs from California, and it was tied to fraternities. How come there wasn't a gang allegation there? You could be a gangbanger and be at University of North Carolina or Duke.
He got my lawyer now, so y'all motherfuckers in trouble. He got my lawyer. I son Drew. Yeah, he got my lawyer now.
You need a lawyer? You need a lawyer, motherfucker? You need Drew Fedman.
Well, 50 just made Drew hot.
Yeah.
Okay, Drew gonna be $5,000 an hour now.
Maybe more than that.
$1 billion lawyer overnight.
to let y'all know about Zach Finley. Hey, man, look, man, Drew Finley. Hey, listen, man, I'm telling y'all, Drew Finley done work with Donald Trump. He done work with Mike Elby. He done work with Offset. He done work with Takeoff. He done work with Quavo. He done work with Boosie. He done work with Lucci. He done work with Young Thug. He done work with Gucci, man. I'm playing any kind of case you got, the Finley law firm is gonna beat it. You can be a Pornhub case. You can have a Netflix case. You can have an Amazon case. You can have a World Star case. You can have a citation. You can, whatever kind of case, I'm telling you, criminal defense, it don't even matter. The Finley law firm is gonna beat it. They don't work with Mike Epps. They don't work with Ronald Reagan. They don't work with Richard Nixon. You can have a bone disease case, they gonna beat it. You have a toothache case, they gonna beat it. You can be a Great Memorial Hospital in trouble, they gonna beat it. This is what I'm telling you, man. Finley law firm, man. You got any kind of case or anything, you wanna come out successful, get with Finley law firm.
And Drew done defended a lot of rich and dangerous people successfully, but is that really enough? Hit the like button and the hype button one time. Let me know down below, share this to spread awareness, and tell a friend, and I'll catch you in the next one.